Hi guys, today we're going to look at the LCM, or the least common multiple of two or more numbers. Remember, we are going to be taking down all of these notes in our spiral notebook so that we have them for future reference. So make sure you copy down everything I say. And if you need a little bit more time, don't hesitate to pause the video. Let's start with the definition. The definition of LCM is the smallest number that is the multiple pull of two or more numbers. So let's take a second. We just talked about the greatest common factor yesterday, and we looked at how there was a finite number of factors for any one number. The number 8 only has a certain number of factors, 1, 2, 4, and 8. That's it. With multiples, they go on forever. There's an infinite number of multiples for each number, which is why we're looking for the least common multiple. We will never find a greatest common multiple because we can keep adding and adding and adding and adding and multiplying until forever. So we will never find a greatest. So when we're looking for the least common multiple, it's because we are looking for the smallest number that they share in common. So we have two methods. Let's start with the list method. So in the list method, we are actually going to list out the multiples of the numbers. And in this case, I'm going to do the numbers 10 and 12. Sorry about that flip. So let's list out the first 5 multiples of each just to get started. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now I know these are multiples of 10 because this one represents 10 times 1, 10 times 2, 10 times 3, 10 times 4, 10 times 5. We're going to do the same thing for the 12s. 12, that's 12 times 1, 12 times 2 is 24, 12 times 3 is 36, 12 times 4 is 48, and 12 times 5 is 60. Notice that we still have not gotten a common factor. But if I add 10 more here, so this would become 10 times 6, now I have found the smallest number that they share in common as multiples. So the LCM is 60. Now we can go back to the same type of method that we used for GCF and use the Sled method to also find the LCM. And to do the Sled method, we do the same thing that we did on GCF. So we're going to put the two numbers, in this case it's 10 and 12, and we're going to put them on a sled, dividing by common factors. So the common factor between 10 and 12 is 2. 2 goes into 10 5 times, and 2 goes into 12 6 times. 5 and 6 share no common factor other than the number 1, so we're done. Now GCF was on the left, but LCM is all of them. And by that I mean we take all of the factors that are along the outside edge of our sled and we multiply them. So in this case it's going to be 2 times 5 times 6. Well, 2 times 5 is 10 and 10 times 6 is 60. And that is our LCM. Notice we got 60 here and we got 60 here. So it doesn't matter which method you apply, they'll both get you to the exact same number. Let's do a couple more examples. I'm going to use the list method for the first one. So I'm going to take 8 and 6 and I'm going to start listing out multiples. You can list out, one for each one at a time. You can list out multiple. So I'm going to start with 8, 16, and 24. And then I'm going to go to 6, 12, 18, 24. Once I come to a common number, that common multiple, I know I found my answer. So the LCM, or the least common multiple of these two numbers, is 24. Now for the next one, I'm going to apply the sled method. So I'm going to take 12 and 20 and put them on a sled. Oops. And I know that they're both even, so 2 goes into both of them. 2 goes into 12 6 times, and 2 goes into 20 10 times. 6 and 10 are both even, so I know 2 goes into them. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and into 10 5 times. Now for LCM is all of them. So we're going to take all of those factors around the edge. 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. Well, this is 4 times 3, which is 12, times 5, which is 60. And that is our LCM. I'm going to do the same method for I'm going to use the sled method again for this last example. It's 25 and 100. I know that they both have a factor of 5 because they end in a 5 or a 0. 5 goes into 25 5 times and into 100 20 times. 5 and 20 both have a common factor of 5 also. Goes in once and 4. 1 and 4 only share a common factor of 1, so I know I'm done. Now all I need to do is find my factors. LCM is all of them. So 5 times 5 times 1 times 4. Well, 5 times 5 is 25, times 1 is 25, times 4 is 100. So the LCM here is 100. Remember, if you need any more time to go over some of these problems, to go back and rewatch the video and pause it as needed.